Hello, I'm Mark Duff. Over the past 30 years, I've transitioned from traditional IT roles to leading digital transformations across many sectors such as healthcare, local government, higher education and global businesses. Today, I aim to shed some light on our collective journey from traditional IT models to the digital era in the form of storytelling. And I call that story Staying Relevant. The year was 2015. I'd recently landed a role at a UK university as Director of IT and had been invited to a meeting at the School of Computer Science. I arrive and I'm directed to a particular seat in the waiting area. There's an array of magazines in front of me, but one stands out. Maybe it's strategically placed so I'd see it, a power game if you will, but who knows. But since that day, I haven't been able to get that headline out of my head. Has the IT department ceased to be? While it's not always at the forefront, when encountering similar concerns in new organisations, it made me reflect. Here's where those reflections led. Consider this fictional organisation. Here we have a typical looking organisational hierarchy, and along comes our management trainee. Say hi. They join the organisation at the bottom of a hierarchy, working their way through various roles and levels, gaining more and more experience, and one day they hit the giddy heights of director. They now sit shoulder to shoulder with the other directors throughout the organisation, no matter how big the organisation. But this is no ordinary department. This is the IT department. The trainee joined an organisation that sees IT as a back office support function and is therefore seen as a lower rung. The trainee notices this is not unique to IT and other support functions are perceived the same way, but that's someone else's story to tell. On the way up, the trainee, now director, worked on a detailed escalation process to ensure efficient processing of their customer issues. Here comes one of those customers. Following the documented escalation process, they submit the issue to the service desk. The service desk take a whack at solving the issue, but needed to escalate to level 2. Level 2 struck out, so up to level 3 the support issue goes. Level 3 works some magic, resolves the issue, and returns a now working thing back to the customer via the service desk. At any point, the customer knew they could have recontacted the service desk or the next level of management if they were at all unhappy with the progress, because they had addressed the escalation process on the intranet. Oh, and of course, they rewarded the service desk with some biscuits, because positive reinforcement. However, this particular customer doesn't have time to read about IT processes, so they contact that person they know in IT. Sadly, they were unable to help, so the customer tries that other person they know in IT. By now, they're getting super frustrated with the length of time it's taken IT to solve their issue, so they may be inclined to contact the service desk. But as this issue is super important and related to a task the manager asked them to do, they go straight to the top, to the very person who created the escalation process to make things more efficient and prevent themselves from becoming the bottleneck, because they know that they're the least available person and the least likely to be able to solve a technical issue. It dawns on the IT director that those outside of IT see all IT roles as interchangeable. The director thinks of the times they've sat in meetings and there's been a technical issue or someone just didn't know how to use the technology provided, and everyone turns to them for support. This is because in this organisation, everybody in IT is seen as a service desk. Another example of how the IT department is seen as lower rung is because it provides services that underpin and support the rest of the organisation. Again, all the services and supporting processes are documented on the intranet with easy to follow guides for engagement. But not everybody likes to follow process, especially if they feel it's slowing them down. For example, check out this manager. Mid-year, without apparent warning, they've decided their team needs a new system to solve all of their issues. Or how about this director? They've been to a conference paid for by an IT vendor and they've deduced that IT is just far too expensive. And then there's this team member. IT apparently doesn't understand their needs at all and the standard corporate equipment just isn't good enough for them. At this point, the IT director introduces a shield named governance to manage the influx of requests, adding more layers and steps for the customers. Services are still delivered from under the shield, but in a slightly distorted way. The IT director introduces a new role to aid the process. This role bridges the gap between the business and the IT department, facilitating request processing. Sadly, this just led to a new voice inside the shield yelling the same requests, ultimately leading the IT department to remain reactive despite all of their efforts to maintain control and be proactive. Now let's take a closer look at the makeup of that shield to try and understand the problem. It seems to have a pretty typical IT operating model. I'll admit, this looks a lot like some of the target operating models I've helped implement in the past and is still very relevant for support organisations. But notice that ring around IT called governance, keeping out all those pesky customers, managers, suppliers and partners. And here's their process before the shield come down. And here there's no mention at all of customers. So what should the IT department do? Firstly, they need to smash that shield and create a model that connects them directly with the business. A model that focuses on engagement, empowerment, growth and open assurance, where the only shield is one of security and compliance, which encompasses the whole organisation. Now what happens to the IT organisation when it's sprinkled with this target operating model? We have a much flatter structure, with most of the traditional roles recognised as IT gone and new roles introduced, such as innovation and customer success lead. The focus has shifted from support to innovation and digital transformation. So how will this work? First, let's bring in some friends to help. These are trusted IT partners and suppliers who will be helping deliver some of the more traditional IT services. The innovation leads will work with them to understand more about their product and their available services. At the same time, we have customer success leads who will be out there in the business gaining a fuller understanding of how it functions. The service delivery leads will also be working with the partners to make sure the business is getting the service they deserve. And of course, we have cyber and project experts keeping everyone safe and organised. The new team works in a very agile, almost start-up way, coming together to help understand the business requirements and build a new set of services. 3 of these services could be technical adoption, thought leadership and data visualization. Through the launch of these services, IT is now enabling digital innovation to improve business service delivery, proactive services to assist with decision making across the business, and with thoughtful technical adoption approach, they can now empower IT users to take full advantage of the tools provided. All with a focus on enabling and strengthening the business they work alongside. The end. Well, not the end. Now, I'm not suggesting that this would be a quick turnaround and there's no need for governance and policies. But do these policies and governance need to be visible to our colleagues? Did you notice the switch there from customer to colleague? Any form should be completed by IT with information gleaned from the conversations they're having during engagement with the business. And to destroy those silos we used to work in once and for all, let's share responsibility for the most fundamental parts of service delivery. To summarise, in past roles, I've heard IT described as a mere support function, an overhead, too costly, a luxury, reactive yet not responsive, disconnected from the business, and easily replaceable. It's time we shift that perception and narrative. Most of the people I meet in IT see themselves as enablers and champions of change. They see IT as a vehicle for transformation. They want to be relevant and recognised as individuals, and they want to be an asset to the business. Transforming in the way I've described would achieve this and benefit all those involved. So, back to that original question. Has the IT department ceased to exist? Based on my experience, I would say yes, as we once knew it. But if IT wants to stay relevant, then no. But it must be willing to evolve. And as traditional IT fades, we'll see a new era of IT emerge stronger, one that enables a business to strengthen and grow. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. I'm Mark Duff, and the opinions I presented are based on my own personal experiences, and therefore do not represent every IT department out there. Take care and goodbye for now.